Hey folks, Marcel here. Why is Gen Z humor so weird? Have you ever looked at a head coming out of the toilet? A rat spinning in a nameless grey dimension? Or a diagram of the aerodynamics of a cow and wondered what's up? To an outsider, Gen Z humor can feel senseless, random, and pointless. Yet, we see these memes being shared and mutated endlessly. Why can it feel difficult for older generations to relate? It all comes down to the role humor is playing in our life, namely, coping with the difficulties that come our way. In the past decades, driven by technological advancements, even the way we share jokes has changed. Memes are a relatively new form of democratized humor, allowing people from all backgrounds to participate in shaping cultural conversations through quick, accessible, and highly shareable content. Yet, millennials had memes too. While both Gen Z and millennials grew up with the internet, their humor takes markedly different paths. Millennial humor often revolves around nostalgia and self-deprecation, poking fun at their own experiences and the quirks of adulting. To understand why, let's take a look at the historical context. Boomer humor, as contrasted to that of millennials, tended to prefer more traditional, classic forms of humor. The familiar, everyday life jokes that often centered on playful conflict between people, like the old "I hate my wife" style of comedy. Humans against other humans. Gen X humor occupies an interesting middle ground between the traditional, interpersonal humor favored by boomers and the self-reflective, existential humor associated with millennials. Shaped by a cultural landscape marked by economic uncertainty, shifting family structures, and the growing skepticism toward institutions, Gen X humor often leans into irony, detachment, and a kind of understated cynicism. Rather than dramatizing personal despair or embracing hyper-absurd remix culture, Gen X humor tends to operate through dry wit, sarcasm, and observational commentary. Millennials came of age during a period characterized by widespread discourse about global crisis and the human culpability, which contributed to heightened anxiety and self-critical tendencies within the generation. These experiences are reflected in their humor, which frequently adopts a self-deprecating, existential tone. As themes of collective stress and personal disillusionment became commonplace, millennial humor often expressed itself through variations of the sentiment, "I hate my life." Gen Z grew up in that world with depressed parents that felt like they were the thing destroying the world. Gen Z didn't learn they were the problem, it was literally in them from the start. Nothing matters, and in the end everyone and everything dies anyway. The only way to deal with that is by escaping into a world that is nonsensical and surrealist. Nothing matters anyway, so their humor reflects that. It's nihilistic to the core. Consider the experience of joking around with friends, where a bit continues just a little too long. As it drags on, the humor becomes increasingly strained and absurd. Now imagine that bit continuing, not for a few minutes, but for an entire decade. Over time, the joke evolves so far beyond its starting point that the original premise is no longer what's funny. Instead, the humor emerges from the sheer absurdity and convoluted nature of what the bit has become. The pace at which Gen Z memes circulate is significantly faster than that of millennial-era memes, largely due to the differences in how each generation engages with social media. Earlier memes, such as Peppa the Frog, often persisted for years, while others, like Keyboard Cat, tended to span only a few weeks or months. Gen Z, however, consumes and disseminates content at a much higher speed, because their preferred platforms are heavily algorithm-driven. As a result, a meme can complete its entire cultural life cycle in a single day rather than over the course of a few weeks or months. This accelerated circulation means that a meme may be considered old within just a few days, creating the conditions for rapid, often extreme mutation, as it is repeatedly remixed and reframed in an extraordinarily short period of time. A meme can go from hilarious to overplayed to ironically funny again within days, creating a dynamic and ever-changing humor landscape. Ultimately, Gen Z humor can be seen as an expression of a generation's ability to adapt and find levity amid instability. It underscores the broader idea that humor, regardless of age or era, remains a powerful tool for connection, coping, and collective creativity. Thanks for watching this video. Remember to like and subscribe if you want to see content similar to this one.